what's up guys? Last time we talked, we were looking at this Smith & Wesson. It's their 9mm M&P 2.0. It's their compact version, 4-inch barrel, 15-round magazine. I was telling you how much I loved it. So much that I ended up getting this guy. This is basically the same gun, except it's a 5-inch barrel, and it is ported. The slide is ported and the barrel is ported. Now it doesn't come filthy like this. This is because I've been doing some shooting with it. Both of these guns are clear, by the way. We'll get that housekeeping portion out of the way. But yeah, I wanted to kind of go over some of the things from a manufacturing standpoint as to what makes these guns such just a joy to shoot. But before I do, you'll notice this little bang switch is different than this one. So this is the trigger that this is a performance center gun. It's their Pro series, and this is the standard M&P 2.0. The trigger for the performance center gun is the same as you get on the other 2.0s. The difference being, Smith & Wesson says that in their literature, the trigger is tuned. And what they mean is this one simple little factor, and I apologize for all the banging around here, picking these up and setting them down, is this little over travel set screw. And what you can do is you set this, let's see if I don't know if I can get it to a place where you can see I may not be able to, well, anyway, if you, I guess, there we go. See how that barely has any place to go? And then we go to the reset, and you don't have as far to travel. And then there you go again. So that little hard stop set screw was on this gun when it still had the standard trigger on it. Well, the way that, and this is an Apex flat face trigger, for those of you who aren't familiar with them. The reason I took it off this gun is because this little extension right here, that is laser cut into this trigger, that acts as our hard stop. And so when we go to reset, it's the same principle. We don't have as far to go, and I'm trying to find a place where you guys can see. But it's essentially the same trigger internally, because the only thing you do is you take the gun completely down, and then this trigger just attaches to the trigger bar and all those things. So one of the things I wanted to kind of share with you is from a manufacturing standpoint, what makes these polymer guns extra rigid in this lower portion. There's a steel insert that runs the entire length of this gun on both the compact and the 5-inch Pro Series gun. In fact, from my understanding, all the M&P 2.0s have this. So here I want to show you some images of the mold. You can see here is the mold of the grip. You see the trigger, the trigger guard, and then you see a couple of notches where this insert that they're going to show us here. There are the two inserts that go on each side of the slide assembly, and they are placed inside the mold, one on this side, one on the other. He's gonna close the door, hit the button. The button And then bippity boppity boop. There's our gun. And so yeah, then we're left with a lower assembly. So then of course they're gonna attach and start putting in the trigger bar assembly, the all of these components back here. But I just thought it was interesting from a manufacturing standpoint how they go about creating that. So now, without further ado, this is probably what you guys are more interested in than anything, is how does this thing shoot? So let's take a look and a listen here. So this first set is going to be using the Pro Series gun, but using the original Performance Center slash M&P trigger with the hard stop in it, and we'll see what kind of performance this gives us. So if you notice, I kind of got hung up there on that, in between that first and second shot. That was something that sort of plagued me throughout. I got a little bit better as I got used to the gun. This is my first striker fired gun that I've had. I'm not used to it. Mallory, I agree, it feels a little squishy. So you kind of have to. I kind of found myself having to get used to it, but as time goes on, I do seem to get a little better. So let's see here. And I missed the shot timer in that audio. Let's take a look at the shot. So first shot is there's a 4300s on my reaction, and then between shots 1 and 2, get it down to a 0.2 seconds. And on my third shot, I was down to 1600. Now 1600 splits, that's where I like to be. Anything there or a little bit faster, but the key is, for me, is I'm looking for consistency. The next shot, 15, so right there, another 15. So for a total time was 1.09. All right, here's my second string of fire, moving through here. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of everything. And if you listen, so it's starting to get it's starting to get a little bit better cadence. And it's that first between my first and second shots. So let's see here. All right, so my reaction time on this particular string, 3800ths, and let's see where my second shot comes in. Second shot comes in at 20, and then by the time we get to my third shot, that's when I start settling in. So we got a 1600 split between the second and third shot, and 3 and 4. We get it down to 15, and then we're down to 14. So again, as I get moving, things start to settle in, and I become a little bit more consistent. So now the next thing to look at is let's take a look at the target. So you can see that's the entire grouping. I started with a clean sheet there, and a lot of them are all going to be center mass. And I did have a couple up in the neck, in the throat area, but I'm not upset with those shots at all. From a self-defense standpoint, those are going to be extremely effective hits. Obviously the thing is, we want to try to go center mass as a way to knock the assailant off balance. But those two shots, those are going to be just fine in my book. All right, so now let's see. I think this is going to be, let me back this up a sec. This is going to be the apex trigger. All right, here we go. So same thing. I kind of got a little bit hung up on that first shot in between my first and second shot. Getting a little bit better now. I'm going to zoom in on the target in a second, but you can see the spread is starting to narrow down a little bit here. I did have another couple shots up here. Let's see what my last, I think I have one more string. Yeah, and those from a shot placement standpoint, those are probably my favorite ones. Yeah, you can definitely see how. So from a speed standpoint, I didn't graph these. From a speed standpoint, the split times are going to be very comparable. But looking at the target, distance being the same, 15 yards, the group got a little bit tighter with the apex trigger, and I think that's a function of distance traveled equates to time, which equates to, you know, how much time you're moving the gun around. Because let's face it, we aren't robots, we're not machines. We can't just, you know, vice grip these guns into place and not let them move. So every little bit of movement and time translates into sight alignment, potentially coming off our target. So this apex trigger, to me, it's very effective from a standpoint of accuracy. All right, so let's look at the times. My reaction time is going to be, here we go. Reaction time is 26 hundredths. And then we go to a 16. So right off the bat, this is my first go on this apex trigger. If you remember, my second shot on the standard trigger, this one, right? Those were 0.2 or 20 hundredths or 0.2 seconds. So now my second shot is already down to a 1600 split. And as I mentioned, that's where I like to be, something there or faster, but consistency is the key. Third shot, another 16, fourth shot, a 17, and number 5, I kind of made up for with a 14. So let's take a look at from a marksmanship drill. We kind of did this with the 4-inch gun, but you know, again, this isn't showing me anything I didn't expect. 15 yards at an individual cadence. There we have, again, that first shot is the one that's high. And I think what happens is it takes me a second to focus on my front sight. I'm looking at the target on that first shot. And then I realize, okay, no, focus on the front sight, hard front sight focus, hard front sight focus, hard front sight focus. A lot of times I have to say that to myself out loud. You know, through every shot iteration, so I can maintain that. So from an accuracy standpoint, this thing is fantastic. So here in a second, now let's take a look at some of the. I got the GoPro out and just kind of gave you some first-person views just to see what the gun is doing in recoil. So let's take a look at that. Drop the magazine, reload, reacquire, 5 more shots. Same drill. All right, so let's look at some of the times here. All right, so we've got it zoomed in. Let me see. Okay, so my reaction time looks like a 59.59. Second shot, so we've got a 0.2. Third shot, it looks like a 19. And then a 15, a 13. Next is going to be the reload and first shot. So it takes me 3 seconds flat to drop the magazine, grab a new one, send it home, go from slide lock back to battery, and take that first shot. That's what that 3 seconds encompasses. And then my shot number 2 after that is going to be, looks like a 21. So again, not real fast on those other ones. Now we get it to 18, We have a 17 and back to 17. So let's see, we have some more here. Let's take a look. All right, so that one was definitely not consistent. My last shot was a little bit faster, but let's see what we have for splits. Okay, so that was a 22. Third shot here is going to be a 17. No, sorry, yes, 17. Another 17, a 12, and then a 3.31. So that, again, that's the time where I go to slide lock. I'm out of rounds. After that 5th round, I engineered this to be out at 5, and then I'd grab a new magazine, throw it home, go back to battery. First shot 3.31 seconds later, and then the second shot after that is going to be a 20, then a 21, a 17, and a 15, I believe that was. So you know, again, these guns, I love this thing. I want to continue to work with it and do some more experimenting as far as, you know, kind of prove to myself, hey, you know, what does happen when I take this thing out to a 10-shot string or something like that. But yeah, I really enjoy this thing. I think it's a really good value for what you get. And yeah, so that's it. But anyway, thanks for watching. And if you do have questions, hit me up and let me know. We'll talk. All right.